Thank you. Declarations of interest. Do we have any members who have any interest to declare, please? Fran?
Thank you, Chairman. It's item 11, the Rackheath Neighbourhood Plan. I was a member on the group devising that. Thank you.
Obviously, declaration as a ward member for Rackheath as well.
Thank you. Claire, do we have apologies for absence, please?
Thank you, Chair. I've received apologies from Councillors Auber, Mancini Boyle, Potter, Vincent, Bailey and Jones.
Thank you. Right, item 3, minutes of the council meeting held on the 11th of December. I refer you to minutes on page 8 of your agenda. Can I ask a show of hands if you're happy to approve those minutes, please? Thank you, that looks unanimous. Are there any matters arising from those minutes? No? Thank you. Also ask you to note minutes from the committee meetings from Cabinet, Overview and Scrutiny, Planning Committee and Audit Committee. And these are from page 19 on your agenda. Announcements. I have a couple of announcements. On page 63, you'll see my chair's engagements since the last period. It was great to visit Tiny Tots in Lingwood and to see the wonderful environment the volunteer team has created for local children. As a council, we're proud to have supported them, helping the nursery to grow and provide high quality care for families in the community. The other event was the One Awards, and I want to congratulate all those who were nominated and who won in the recent One Awards. I just want to mention our staff go beyond and above every single day, often quietly and without fanfare, and in ways the public never sees. This excellent public service is delivered by our people who care about our community. And finally, a quick reminder, my upcoming civic event, I hope you've all had invitations and I hope you've all replied to those invitations. I look forward very much to enjoying the evening with you and raising much needed funds for Norwich Door to Door. So please bring your cash and your cards, we take both. Thank you very much. Vice Chair, do you have any announcements? Leader? No. Members of the Cabinet? Nope. Managing Director?
Chair, if I can just share some good news with councillors. So since we last met as council, the Handy Person Service has won Handy Person Service of the Year in national awards. Great recognition for the level of service they provide to people when they really, really need it. Our apprenticeship scheme has won a regional award for large employer as evidence of the way we are engaging with young people coming into local government. So again, another great recognition. And today we've learned that the NEC, Norfolk Environmental Credits, has been shortlisted in the national awards for the Local Government Chronicles for environmental services. So we'll watch that space to see what happens. Again, evidence of great service from the Officer Corps, building on what you've said, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. We have no questions and we have no public speaking, so I'll go straight on to Cabinet recommendations. 8A is a safeguarding policy. That's on page 67 of your report, and I invite Councillor Hartley to present the recommendations from Cabinet.
Thank you, Chair. Tonight I'm very pleased to present our new safeguarding policy, which is an upgrade to our current safeguarding protocol. Following an external audit of our safeguarding practices in March 25, several recommendations were made, including the development of this new safeguarding policy, supported by accompanying procedures to ensure clear and consistent practice across the Council. In line with those audit recommendations, a new role of Operational Safeguarding Advisor was created and recruited to in May 25. This role holds responsibility for maintaining and updating the safeguarding policy and its procedures, ensuring they remain aligned with legislative developments and emerging best practice. The updated policy also introduces strengthened internal safeguarding governance with a strategic safeguarding board that will provide strategic oversight and governance, complemented by an operational safeguarding board which oversees day-to-day safeguarding activity and reports into the strategic board. Our new safeguarding policy is a succinct document that makes it clear that safeguarding is everyone's responsibility and provides practical information about raising safeguarding concerns. It also outlines expectations for training, ensuring all staff receive role-appropriate safeguarding training to enable them to identify and respond effectively to risk. Safeguarding training will form part of every new starter's induction, with designated safety leads and other specialist staff to receive enhanced training to maintain high levels of expertise and leadership in safeguarding practice. Once adopted, this policy will be published on the Council's website, with internal communications used to make sure that all staff and members are aware of it, with specific member training on the new policy and procedures to be arranged.
Thank you, Councillor Harpley. Do you have a seconder? Dave Thomas, thank you. Do you wish to speak now?
Ever so quickly, Chairman, if I may, thank you. I welcome this update, bringing the policy forward before the Council tonight. I'm very happy to second it and encourage everyone else to do so.
I'd like to invite questions and comments from members. Who would like to start? Frank?
Thank you, Chairman. I'm always very pleased to see a safeguarding protocol put in place, because I think it's just so important, you know, having worked in children's services myself. Yeah, so the policy, very happy with the policy. Just one thing, and any social worker would pick this up, 2.1, it refers to the Children's Act. There is no Children's Act. There's a Children Act, just so aware. But it's not actually in the policy, it's just in the covering paper. But I just want to make that point, really. But no, I'm very happy to see it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anybody else? No? Okay. I'll go back to Councillor Harpy. Do you want to respond to Councillor Harpy, and do you want to sum up?
I don't think there's anything else to
No.
add to that. We'll amend the typo and
Okay.
carry on. Thanks.
Thank you. Right, refer members to the recommendation. Recommended to Council that we adopt the safeguarding policy and approve the delegation of authority to the Assistant Director of Individuals and Families in consultation with the portfolio holder for communities and housing, and to make minor operational amendments as required on an ongoing basis. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Thank you. That's unanimous. We'll move on to 8B, which is the Waste Services Policy. That's on page 87 of your report. And I invite Councillor Davis to present the recommendations to Cabinet, please.
Thank you, Chair. Broadland District Council has not previously had a formally adopted waste services policy. Service standards and practices have developed over time through long-standing customs. So this new policy actually consolidates operational practice, reflects recent and forthcoming legislative requirements, and sets clear service standards for the district. It's important because its adoption will support compliance with simpler recycling and other forthcoming legislation arising from the government's waste and recycling reforms. The policy will help the Council demonstrate service effectiveness and operational consistency in relation to future packaging extended producer responsibility payments, which are going to be critical going forward in terms of how we manage recycling and packaging waste. There are no changes to the current service delivery standards with this policy, but it will aid public understanding of the service and the delivery standards. For example, the policy covers a wide range of service areas such as frequency of collections, assisted collections, bulky waste, electrical, electronic equipment recycling, mist collections, contamination of bins, garden waste, provision of litter and dog bins. A lot of the questions that we often receive, certainly as ward councillors, and so I think it's a useful document to refer to when those questions come your way. Not adopting the policy would leave the Council without a formal reference point for service standards, which reduces transparency and weakens the Council's position in relation to the forthcoming reforms, national reforms, and potential funding implications, because we have to actually demonstrate that we're providing an adequate and efficient service to be able to get those funds in. So approval of the policy will ensure the council is well positioned to deliver efficient, compliant and environmentally responsible waste services as the new legislative changes are introduced. So I recommend to full council the approval and adoption of the waste services policy, but with a revision to the recommendation as written in the papers, reflecting the amendment agreed at Cabinet to include the normal consultation with portfolio holder, which had been raised previously as ONS and Cabinet. So the recommendation to read as follows: the approval and adoption of the waste services policy and the delegation of authority to the Assistant Director Community Services in consultation with the portfolio holder to make minor operational amendments as required on an ongoing basis. So that's the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Davis. Do you have a seconder, please? Councillor Harvey, do you wish to speak now or later?
Just to say, it's great to see the policy with everything in one place. And I think this will, well, it was an excellent read. I know what to do with my broken kettle now, so that was useful. And it will really help us continue our excellent record on recycling and food waste as well. So thank you very much for that. Yeah.
Thank you. Any comments from councillors? Martin, please.
Thank you. I am really pleased that the portfolio holder has actually taken recommendation from ONS to include in consultation with the portfolio holder as we recommended, and it does keep happening, and I would like to see and ensure that in future documents that it does come forward in the correct manner.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? Jan, did you wish to say anything else, or should we just go straight to the vote? Straight to the vote? Okay, Councillor Davis already read the recommendation out, so I would like you to raise your hands if you are for the amendment, or for the recommendation. Thank you, it's unanimous. Move on to 8C, which is the Greater Norwich 5-year Infrastructure Investment Plan, bless you, and Annual Growth Programme. That's on page 113 of your reports, and I invite Councillor Roper to present the recommendations.
Thank you, Chair. I'm very pleased to present this report to Council, the 5-year investment plan and our annual growth programme for the Greater Norwich Fund. This has to be ratified by all three partner councils, ourselves, South Norfolk Council and Norwich City Council. And what's really good about it is if you look at number 2, we've got 2 really quite exciting projects being delivered within Broadland, which are kicking off this year. At Blowfield Park Community Centre and the Nest. Who doesn't love the Nest? It's a great facility, and funding for paddle courts is being included within that plan. Happy to propose it to you. I'll listen carefully to any comments, and I hope you can endorse it tonight.
Thank you. Can I ask for a seconder, please? Nick Starling. Thank you. We should speak now, Nick.
All I'll say is that this was very positively received by ONS and all members on that committee. As local member for Horsford, where the paddle courts will be being built, this is further increasing in paddle facilities right across Broadland, because there are already facilities in Taverham. This will expand them in Horsford. I believe I heard from a member earlier elsewhere when we were discussing this about further increases in Sprowston, also this facility. You never know, perhaps we'll have a future world champion if such a thing exists in the sport, but Broadland's certainly making itself a hub for investment in this, so I very much welcome it.
Thank you, Miss Reefham out. We've got one in Reefham as well. Anybody else, please? Martin.
Thank you. On page 210, it does deliver the GP 115, the School of Oral Health. Whilst it's noted that the funding on there, whilst approval has been granted from the School of Dentistry, we still haven't had any funds coming from the Office of Students for the current year intake, so that is slightly disappointing considering the building's built and it's ready. So I would urge all people to make representations to the School of Education and I have actually raised a government petition for this to get people for this current academic year starting in September.
I've just got Councillor Gurney first, and then Councillor Wymart.
Thank you, Chairman. Obviously, these grants are most welcome. It's interesting. I just wish to point out, although under the Norwich City Council banner, that there is a grant here for Helsden Station, Helsden Mill, Helsden Marsh. And I would just point out to members, although I'm sure it's a bit like teaching granny to eggs, that it's not actually Helsden per se as a division or a parish. So I find it a bit misleading that, and I wouldn't want our residents to think that Helsden was getting the benefit of these fundings as well. Also, I wanted to just note that I thought that the Yellow Pedalway had been funded in its entirety by the government, and that I now see there's money coming from this pot to go towards the road traffic scheme, in particular near the Nest. But it was my opinion or view as the member for Helsden and being involved in this project that we already had received the funding from central government for the Yellow Pedalway in its entirety. So it's something that I will be raising with a cabinet member at county, because I wouldn't like to see this double funded. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to say I welcome it is to see the extension to Salhouse Primary School. I mean, the local area is under quite a lot of pressure actually, with the growth that's going on in Rackheath already. Obviously, we will get another primary school in Rackheath in the first phase of GT16, as and when that goes ahead. But nonetheless, this is really, really welcome to help support, because a lot of people are having to go much further afield actually to find a school at the moment, and so this is very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? Councillor Roper, did you want to respond to any of those?
Thank you. I certainly agree with Councillor Mowell. I think and passing this document says loud and clear this is something which we definitely need in this area, and we'd urge all councillors to make the case for that. In response to Councillor Gurney, some of the vagaries of what things are called in different bits of Norfolk doesn't actually always stand to where we think they are. So that's fine. And going into the annex of the longer term projects, yes, Councillor Wyman, absolutely right about the Salhouse School. Again, much as I highlighted the two projects we're kicking off this year, there is a lot of good stuff in there further down the line. My understanding as a member of Horsham St Faith, so I do have an interest in the Yellow Pedalway. My understanding was it was always a mixture of funding, but I'm happy to be corrected if Councillor Gurney gets a message from the county cabinet member on that. But I urge you to support this document.
Thank you. I'd like to go to the recommendations. I'm not going to read them all out because there's quite a lot there, but they're all on page 113 of your report. So if you'd like to vote for the recommendations that we approve this. Thank you very much. That looks unanimous. Is that unanimous? I think so, yeah. Right, moving on. We're going on to the budget. I just want to advise you all that it's my intention to debate all three items together, which is 8D, Revenue Budget and Council Tax, 8E, Capital Strategy and Capital Programme, and 8F, Treasury Management and Strategy Statement together. However, separate votes will be taken on each of those items. In accordance with the Constitution, this will mean the portfolio holder for finance will have a total of 15 minutes to speak. All other members will have a total of 9 minutes. But it should be noted that members can only speak once on this. We will have a recorded vote on 8E, which is the Capital Strategy and Capital Programme. And the Revenue Budget. And the Revenue Budget. And the Council Tax Resolution. I thought we were just going to do all of those. Yeah, no, all three of these. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, amendment. We're going to have a recorded vote on all three of those. Thank you. Yeah. Total of 9 minutes per member. So we've got the timer here. Fran, because we're going to time you. Okay. 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 Right, I'm going to invite Councillor Riley to present the recommendations from Cabinet.
Thank you, Chair. I know you're pleased, Chair, to know that I'm no longer infectious from all of my flu viruses, but I would ask yourself and Council to bear with me, as my larynx haven't quite recovered yet. So if you just bear with me, Councillors, please. It gives me great pleasure to be able to present this budget proposals to you this evening. The proposals in front of you tonight represent a robust budget that will deliver on our key priorities of this administration. Turning first to the revenue budget, we remain in a challenging financial environment with ongoing inflationary pressures and increased demand on our services. In particular, we are continue to see the need for additional support for families at risk of becoming homeless. Our government have provided local authorities with the first multi-year settlement in a decade. However, the new fair funding assessment that has been introduced has shifted funding away from areas such as Broadland towards areas of higher deprivation. This means that Broadland will have a core spending power of 16.8 million in 26-27, and this will then be reduced by £500,000 to 16.3 in each of the following 2 years. However, we have been able to rise to the financial challenge and find efficiencies and income generating opportunities, including exacting an iterative business case reviewing, whilst at the same time investing in our services. I think we can be proud that over the past year, our community protection team won an award for Norfolk Constabulary for its public service protection order and Operation Octane, tackling vehicle antisocial behaviour. Our Stray Dog Service won again the RSPCA Gold Paw Print for the Excellence in Local Authority Animal Welfare. We've purchased a further 17 new units, 13 properties for use as temporary accommodation, with a further 4 units, 4 properties to be purchased by the end of March. We have worked closely with NEC, Natural England and Norfolk Wildlife Trust to sign our biggest ever nutrient mitigation fund, nutrient credits funding agreement related to land at Baldwell and Wood Norton with a total value of 8.6 million. We have successfully completed the £4.3 million redevelopment of Frettenham Depot without any disruption in the collection of 7.5 million bins. We have continued to invest in Broadland Country Park, improving access and facilities, working with conservation partners and decided to build a new visitor centre. We continue to fund community grant scheme with just over 60,000 invested in 8 projects, including improvements to our play area at Elsham, improvements to community facilities at Broadwell, Brundle, Hamilton, Marsham and Reedham, environmental and biodiversity proposals, projects in Halstead and Horsham St Faiths, plus new equipment for a tactical group in Elsham, plus further support for our communities via our ward member grant scheme funded by 1,000 per ward member. We have adopted a new biodiversity strategy, 25 to 2030, and climate, environment and biodiversity delivery plan, 25-26, embedding nature recovery and climate action into council decision making. We have invested 77.5 thousand of UK SPF capital to upgrade 5 council-owned play areas across Broadland. In this budget, I draw members' attention to page 235, section 2.18, where I'm proposing an increase in funding to ensure adequate provision for the predicted increase in homelessness from 810,644 25-26 to £1,039,859 for 26-27, and rolling forward savings from purchasing housing to a reserve to back up any further unforeseen demand that may take place in 26-27. Cabinet on the 10th of February 26 also considered the Q3 finance report, and I am pleased to report that we anticipate that an overall revenue to a planning reserve to further support enforcement and planning appeals, strengthening our service in this area. We continue to ensure that capital programme is fully funded, and in each section, and in section 2.24 of the revenue budget report, we've made provision to transfer 50,000 to the capital funding reserve and £500,000 to the waste reserve to fund future purchase of waste vehicles. Within the budget, I've also included provision to set aside £1 million into a reserve to support LGR, even though, of course, this is not our policy decision, but we do have to fund it under government dictate. The budget this year is not only balanced, but creates a surplus of £530,000, which will be added to our general reserve. This surplus increases our financial resilience, and it puts us in a good position to be able to deal with future cuts to the government funding over the next 2 years. Due to our careful financial management and our detailed approach to business case study, I'm able to therefore to propose that we freeze the rate of council tax for a second successive year to just £134.91. Furthermore, some of our residents will see a reduction in their council tax. We are proposing to cut the special expenses charge for Great Wishingham residents by £2 to just £8, and for Helsden residents, for the special expenses charge reduction will be by £5 to just £10. That's a 33 and a third decrease, and will mean a council tax cut effectively for those residents. In regard to capital programme, we'll review the capital budget to ensure all items fully support the administration of the Lib Dems, Labour and Green partnership, vision and priorities. The capital programme totals over 15 million over 5 years. Key projects include 2 million to fund the purchase of more temporary accommodation to ensure families in need have suitable emergency accommodation, and to reduce revenue demand for the taxpayers of Broadland. 5 million to fund disabled facility grants to allow residents to adopt their homes so that they can live safely and independently. Greater Norwich Growth Board funded projects at the Nest and Blowfield Park, 560,000 to complete the Broadland Country Park Visitor Centre, 2 million to continue to invest in the Warm Homes programme to deliver practical energy efficiencies and low carbon heating improvements to homes across Norfolk. And we will continue to review the capital programme to ensure that Council obtains value for money for every penny of its expenditure and via exacting business case studying. And the capital programme is affordable both now and in the long term. Regarding our Treasury management strategy, we remain committed to ensuring taxpayers' money is secure and invested appropriately to deliver financial returns to support our core services. Our Treasury management strategy therefore places appropriate restrictions on types of investments that we will utilise, and any new borrowing will be proportionate, and we will ensure the cost of any borrowing will be fully covered by rental income, which we've said often enough. Finally, as well as approving the Broadland budget papers as billing authority, we also have to formally set the overall council tax for our residents. Council tax resolution paper therefore takes our element of the council tax, adds into the amount we have been asked to collect by Norfolk County Council, the Police and Crime Commissioner and the parishes on their behalf. We have no control over the level of charges these other authorities set, of course. It is worth noting that the Broadland element of the council tax is just 5.6 of the total bill, lower than last year. I believe the Broadland council tax charge, £134.91, or just over £2.60 a week, represents excellent value to our residents, and I therefore commend the recommendations, all the recommendations in this report to Council. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Riley. Do you have a seconder, please? Sue. Do you wish to speak now, Sue, or do you reserve it? Okay. I'd like to invite comments from members, please. Fran?
Thank you, Chairman. You hear me on? There's a lot to commend this budget. Obviously, having a 3-year settlement is welcome for anybody. It's something we've been asking for a very long time. So we're pleased with that. Obviously, I'm pleased that there's money going into hopefully take off some pressure from homelessness issues. I noticed the numbers in here over the last couple of years. We've gone from 66 to 76 to 104 right now, people who are presented to us as homeless, you know, or are homeless, as they currently. So seeing £2 million go into temporary accommodation is really, really welcome. And I noticed that the portfolio holder says we got £530,000 being moved to general reserve, which raises the question for me, because at overview and scrutiny we were, I would say, a little bit hoodwinked actually, that the Shared Prosperity Fund was being deleted, and there seemed to be nothing there to replace this. What we weren't made aware of at overview and scrutiny was this was what funded Business Builder. So where is Business Builder? I hope the portfolio holder can answer that, because Business Builder has been a really successful part of, you know, Broadland District Council for well, since 2022 when it was introduced, to support new business and growing businesses as well. I mean, I don't know if it's incompetence or ideology really that this has been missed by the department, by the portfolio holder, because this is a really important part of what we are at Broadland, and I don't know which it is. The staff here and the businesses obviously have no clue at all at this moment in time whether or not basically this will be continued, and this needs to be clarified tonight. It needs to be clarified where we are with this. I think it's just outrageous that we're not having that clarified for us. You know, the budget consultation, 69% of people said they wanted to support business growth. That's not the message we're giving to businesses, and that's the message we should be giving to businesses. So I think, you know, we need to really rethink this and look at that £530,000. Instead of putting it into general reserve, we should put it back where it deserves to be, supporting our businesses. Economic growth is just so important to all economies, and particularly our local economy. You know, I was this afternoon, I was at the Norfolk Market Towns Conference, where, you know, the county council is putting £1 million into supporting businesses, and an additional £200,000 to go digital, so helping people to go digital with their businesses, at a point where we're saying, actually, what are we going to give? So unless that's clarified tonight, I don't think I can support this budget, because it's not a budget for growth, it's not a budget for our local businesses, and certainly not for our staff either. I think it's really awful that, you know, we've got 2 staff members who potentially be out of the job, and that's not being clarified. So I'd like that to be clarified realistically. I think, you know, it's just so important really going forward. But we'll wait and see what's said. But I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you. I've got Councillor Copplestone next, please.
Thank you. Oh, is someone's microphone on? Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to congratulate Steve, Councillor Riley and Rodney on a very good budget. I'm absolutely delighted that the administration is freezing council tax, because I think some people are finding it really hard out there, and we've got to really consider our households. Although I am very disappointed with the local government settlement that we've got. The 3-year deal is not doing us any favours. We seem to have always managed our finances in a very prudent manner and managed to have some reserves behind us. And we are just not getting the funding that we previously had, and we're being overlooked in favour of more deprived areas or councils that are failing. So that is a very difficult point, but well done, Steve and Rodney, for making a good job of this budget. And then obviously the Labour government is not keen to give us any UK Shared Prosperity Fund or any Rural England Prosperity Fund. I think there is absolutely nothing coming to us at all this year. And as Councillor Wymark has already said, this funding propped up our local businesses. And we know the Labour government has been really cruel to our HMEs, SMEs, and we have seen national insurance change. We have seen the real living wage will change again. It has been a really difficult trading environment, and we're already seeing 5 million people unemployed, especially our young people. So it's such a shame that our business community are being overlooked, but well done, Rodney, well done, Steve, great job, and great for our council taxpayers this time. Thank you.
Thank you. I've got Councillor Empsall next, please.
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate Councillor Riley. It's a very good budget in light of a poor government settlement. Flat cash means you really do need to put up your council tax to cover your costs. So it's very good to see that Steve has managed to work in a 0% increase, which is very good. I do feel that the Conservatives at ONS and obviously Conservatives here, we were very supportive of a 0% increase because of the fact that we'll support people who we know are struggling. But the procedure to set the budget, where it goes from obviously departments and ADs, portfolio holders and directors, then to obviously to Steve as the portfolio holder for finance, then the budget's set. Then we have ONS budget questions and we have ONS scrutiny of the budget. So then when we get to Cabinet with that budget, it's for Cabinet to approve the budget. At the Cabinet meeting, I did mention that Conservatives were not happy with the fact that to keep a 0% increase, we had to lose Business Builder, only to be told that it was still being worked on. But obviously, I knew that the procedure was that once it got to that point, you had to make a big change at that meeting to get it into the budget. And that was not made. So to be told that it was being worked on was a little bit, well, that's strange, because obviously would need to be a major change of this budget that was here to be approved. I did try and raise this at the Cabinet meeting, and I was closed down because I was going to question something that was obviously not going to be able to be answered. And I found that very poor. I should have been able to have the right to reply to that, to say, this is where you're setting your budget, you're not working on it. So I did find that a little bit disappointing. But in light of the fact that we have got a 0% increase, it is very good, but at what cost? And I will say that members would have noticed that the Business Builder programme wasn't in there if it had been headlined as Business Builder. But we didn't, and I don't think anybody over in scrutiny noticed it. But we're not sure what else might have been secretly cut out by re-headlining it. So that is something we are going to have to consider. But like I say, at the moment, it's very good that Mr Riley has managed to get a budget together that is a 0%. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Clancy, did you have your hand up? Yeah.
Just very briefly, I'd like to also reiterate congratulations to Councillor Riley and the administration on a zero increase budget. I think overall it is a well-balanced budget, and I think in essence you've covered everything that needs to be covered. I, like many of the other speakers though, I think there is a need to readdress the issue of economic development and to make due consideration of possibly some of that 530k going into some form of initiatives to help protect the local economy. In an era of high energy costs, probably the highest in Europe for businesses and industry, rising unemployment, rising youth unemployment, skills shortages, etc., etc. I think Broadland has always put the economy at front and centre of everything we do. Because again, everybody, I think with political nous will recognise a good economy basically brings with it the commensurate social, economic, environmental benefits. And I don't think if we need to put a bit more emphasis on economic success, economic development, because I think if we don't do that, the success which you are currently enjoying, and I do, congratulate you because you are doing things well, and I believe you are doing things well. But I also do think I would make a plea that the portfolio holders have a look at this and to, if not necessarily to business builder, but to bring our own economic initiatives, specifically around apprenticeships, trade apprenticeships. If you go on to the Norfolk Apprenticeships site, you go on, which will direct you to the government apprenticeship site. In most areas of trade apprenticeships, there isn't one available in Norfolk. There isn't one. And we're trying to build houses, and there's every conceivable reason why we can't build houses, we can't build homes, and there's going to be a massive block in skill shortages. All right, realistically, a lot of the big sites around Norwich are currently working slowly. For the first time ever, bricklayers and tradespeople are being laid off. But this is cyclical, and it will change, and we will move forward, and there will be the need for these skills. So my plea is to ask the administration, Steve, the finance portfolio holder, and Martin, the economic development portfolio holder, to reappraise the need to drive the local economy. And there is a bit of resource to do it, to come up with the innovative schemes which are available and can be available to actually do this, because it's of vital importance, Jim.
Thank you. Councillor Gurney next, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Much of what I was going to say and express, the sentiment, has already been dealt with by fellow Conservative members here. But I do want to just highlight and thank Councillor Riley for looking, as he has done for a good while now, a few years, and we have had some discussions about this as a local member, and I'm very pleased to see that the street lighting charge is again reduced. I know that there was a significant renewal of bulbs, etc., that has reduced costings and overall maintenance, but this will be something that I am confident the residents of Helsden will very much appreciate and welcome. However, I turn to comments made about business development, and this worries me that this council, for as long as I've been on it, which is a long, long time now, has always prioritised business development in Broadland and used that as one of our flagship services. And I know of businesses now in Helsden that are failing and would have desperately needed some guidance and support from these kind of services. And I do hope that, like my fellow members here, that you will reconsider the position. But I thank you, and so does Councillor Douglas, for the work you have done on the street lighting in Helsden. Thank you.
Thank you. I've got Councillor Roper next, please.
Thank you, Chair. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but this is a budget which defies gravity, really, when you think about it. When you consider the local government settlement, when you consider inflation, when you consider all the stormy weather that is hitting local government at the moment, local government reorganisation, having to find money to put into a reserve for that, for example. Who saw that coming round the corner? Despite all of this stormy weather, we're in a position where this council, for the second year running, is freezing council tax. And will be the only council in Norfolk to do that. We'll be one of the few in the country, most probably, to do that. And what's more, in 2 parishes in this district, the council tax is actually going down because of the change for the street lighting charges. Again, where on earth else is that happening in the country at the moment? So this really is a budget, as I say, that defies gravity. But how do we do it? And, you know, there's a lot of congratulations for Councillor Riley. And it is literally burrowing down into every budget line, into every contract, into every saving we can possibly make, is how we get to a position where actually we're supplying the same and we're charging no more. In fact, we're supplying more and we're charging no more. And to cite the example has been raised about the business builder tonight, which was funded externally. It isn't a cut made by this council. It was funded externally. This council, as we said to Councillor Emsell in reply at Cabinet, this is something which is going to be looked at carefully. We want to review how that was working. Is it the best way for it to be working? Is it the best way to deliver best value for our businesses? Could it be better? And we'll actually look at it properly in a paper and then bring a future proposal forwards if it's needed and how it's needed. That's how you go about saving money. That's how you go about delivering quality services and charging the people of Broadland zero extra on their council tax. And I absolutely commend this budget to you.
I'm going to go to Councillor Booth next, but could we have quiet while the people are speaking, please? Just a bit of respect, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. First, I'll correct one or two misassumptions. Nobody is going to be made redundant. The 2 posts that were funded by the Shared Prosperity Fund were already vacant. The officers that were in them have been moved into permanent posts, so there's no redundancies. We know that it was all from external funding. The funding has stopped altogether nationally. It's not just Broadland. There just isn't a Shared Prosperity Fund. It was halved last year and it's now been phased out. As Councillor Roper said, we are going to be looking at it. We're not abandoning it. It's just the pattern that the news that it had finished came in too late to have it included in the budget. So we've now got to make a paper. I've got to produce a paper with George Denton to bring to Cabinet to see how we're going to work on to replace the funding. And Business Builder still carries on. It's not that we've stopped Business Builder. The only element that's missing is the grants. The staff delivering all the stuff, which I won't do it now because I'm going to list it in my question reply later, is still going on. It's only the grant side that has got to be replaced, not the actual work. So we're still doing all the business support that we were. It's not going to change. It's only the grant side that's got to be worked out, because now we know we're not getting the money. So it's not being abandoned, it's not being ignored, it's just that it was too late to be included in the budget, and therefore we've now got to look at the paper, look at what we've been doing, and bring it back. I'm personally very keen on the apprentices, and we've been doing very good work on that, and I'm hoping we can carry it on. But we can't just, it was too late to develop the plan, so it's going to be done now. Because we didn't know we weren't going to get it until the government settlement.
Thank you. Councillor Hartley next, please.
Thank you, Chair. I really just want to echo the thanks that have been given to Steve and Rodney and the other clever people who have done so much hard work on this. As has been said, this is a great budget and it's been brought about through absolutely forensic examination of every line to tedious levels that I could not endure myself. So for all you people who keep saying what a great budget it is, I expect you all to vote for it then. Thank you.
Does anybody else wish to comment? Councillor Starling.
Thank you. Absolutely 100% welcome this. It came as quite a shock. I mean, we had done a lot of work looking into the budget over the year, quarterly breakdowns of budgets within ONS, and knew that we were really up against it when we learned about how the government were going to give us a 3-year settlement, which was effectively a cut each year. You know, it looked really poor considering we knew we were in a good financial position. It almost looked like we'd had our feet chopped from beneath us. But well done to the team, well done to everybody who's delivered this 0%. With regards to Business Builder, I think we have to see data and evidence of our previous Business Builder money was used effectively to provide value for money. I'm not saying it isn't well used, but we're seeing from COVID grants that some money just went missing, and we need to be able to effectively monitor and see that if we're investing a further sum of hundreds of thousands of pounds into replacement for Business Builder, it needs to be evidence-based, have data, know what its successes were in the past, and have a clear criteria that doesn't see money just disappear. So I hope that's something which might come before ONS quite quickly if there is a policy being developed, so we can look into that and dig into it, because you know, we want that money to be well used, and I'm heartened to hear that there is a plan in place to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Go to Councillor Morrell, please.
Thank you. Just listening to the response from Councillor Booth, where it's working really hard, I mean, I'd question the fact that the last economic development policy panel that actually met was on the 14th of April 2025, and every one since has been cancelled. And it just seems ridiculous to say they're helping businesses, and yet we've cancelled all those meetings.
Right, go to Councillor Davies, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I just wanted to reiterate that a lot of this, the success of this, has come through very much a collaborative approach, working together as a partnership, as ourselves, I think, and together with the officers. And clearly that takes a lot of time and effort and perseverance. So it's just recognising that. And I think, as Councillor Riley said, he gave a list of some of the very successful projects that have been delivered. So it isn't that we're not spending that money, we're spending it efficiently and in a targeted way. And we will continue doing that. I'm very keen to support local businesses, especially in terms of energy reduction, carbon emissions and energy reduction, and using water much more efficiently, because I think that is a way of supporting businesses to improve their economic stability, sustainability going forward, and helping us in terms of our overall aims to reduce carbon emissions, reduce our energy costs, and ensure that our businesses are successful. So I think this is a way forward that we should all get behind.
Thank you. Councillor Catchpole.
Thank you, Chair. I too was at the Market Town conference today, and it was run by Norfolk County Council, and they made some very happy announcements regarding some funding that the County Council is putting forward for especially hospitality and retail businesses. But for the sake of information, they were promoting the new Anglia Growth Hub as support for businesses across the piece, and so I just wanted to mention that, so that if anybody does have any questions over how to start or grow a business, they contact New Anglia Growth Hub. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Catchpole. I don't have any other hands up at the moment. Oh, we do. Hello, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, well done to Councillor Riley and all for their hard work. My only opinion is that 2 years of 0% rise, I hope it doesn't come back to bite people too hard in the third year. Can I just point out, without breaking any commercial confidentiality, regarding to page 235 and the ongoing costs of Thorpe Lodge of £70,000 per annum, how much longer are we likely to have to fund that as the sale, I believe, is going through? Thank you.
Thank you. Are we sure we haven't got any more hands up? No? Okay. I'm going to ask Councillor Holland to respond as a seconder, please.
Thank you. Yes, I am very happy to support the budget, as I'm sure will come as no surprise to everybody. I do have a few points I would like to make in response to some of the comments that have been made. So at Cabinet, I made it very, very clear that the UK Shared Prosperity Fund was stopped, and that is what had funded a lot of that programme. This has had no effect whatsoever on what we are trying to do for businesses. We will continue to work in business growth. We have constantly done so, and we're not going to stop now. What we will have to do, though, and I think is perfectly right, and several people have already mentioned this, is to start to look at what we've been doing and how it has worked and what evidence there is to show that those things have actually made benefits to businesses. So it's a data-driven process. So once we have some of that information, then we will be looking to see what we can bring forward in order to help support our businesses ongoing. And that is really, really important. So when we talk about what we do for Broadland, it's for residents, it's for communities, it's for businesses, because all of those things together are what help us to have a wonderful and happy life. So that is our aim, is to make sure that we continue to support everybody, including businesses and individuals. So we will continue to do that, and we just watch this space and we'll see what comes forward from those points. I also would point out that we do have in our delivery plan apprenticeships which relate to what we do in this building and in our staff. We will continue to do that. And I think also some of what we do here can be extrapolated out into the wider community. So I would expect to see us making some progress there as well. I think what I really wanted to say was that, as many people have already commented, this is a very, very complex thing, putting a budget together. I think having gone through it, as we do, with absolute attention to detail, we have added jobs to our programmes. We've built up the business regulatory area. We keep bringing in new things to make sure that we're delivering good services. Those things are working, so we're not cutting our services. I think this is something we really need to bear in mind here. We are producing better services increasingly, and we are still keeping our costs down. I think that is a really, really good thing to be doing, and I would really hope that all of us can congratulate the staff and Councillor Riley for having actually managed to put this together, because we are unusual in doing that. Nobody else is doing this, and I think it's a really good thing, and I really, really hope you all support it, because I don't think you'll see it again. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Holland. Councillor Riley, was there anything else you wish to say before we go to the...
Yeah, I need to sum up on some of the points. Okay. Thank you, Chair. Yeah, first of all, I'd just like to thank the members that have spoken personally, and also on behalf of the Cabinet and our group manifestos, which have driven a lot of this, actually. Thank you for your comments. Very much appreciated. And I think, especially Stuart here, we've always seen eye to eye on business matters and the way you do things, and that's reflected again in the comments, also from the Conservative leader. Just in relation to the budget, and I understand the leader has said that he would find it difficult to support this budget. However, as the leader has already said, this was a government grant which came in 2022, I believe, under the previous administration. Prior to that, all of the funding that this grant has supplied in terms of supports business didn't exist within the previous administration. It just didn't exist. We always, as Sheila has said, supported business. I remember that only too well as being chair of ONS going back to 2013 in one way, shape or another. And we always acted as a good sign posting organisation for business as well. So that doesn't really affect our budget. The issue is for us, the cancellation of this came in so late. We go about our business in a very different way from some other councils. I've mentioned it in the report. Exacting business case studying. That takes a bit of time to make sure we get it right, and also to keep revenue demand off the taxpayer, which is how we've been able to deliver this kind of budget. And as Sue has said, we've strengthened the regulatory with further jobs. We could have just left it ticking over, but that would have been the wrong thing to do. And we've done that without putting revenue pressure on. So that's another way of doing business in a different way over the next 2 to 3 years. And I just want to say this as well. We are absolutely committed to supporting business. I think, Stuart, you may remember me and us having a conversation about this before. I gave up my corporate lives, which I've been in London, very big organisations, huge organisations, and I started up a business up here when I was 42. And I went, completely funded that myself, my own capital. I went from 4 to 35 employees. I was based in South Norfolk. At that time, there was no business support whatsoever. Didn't exist. So I'm only too aware how small businesses really need support. And personally, I could not support not doing that. I think you put it quite succinctly, though, Stuart, that what we need to do is evaluate, have a proper business case study around this, and support in some way, shape or form businesses. Wouldn't be called business builder anymore because it doesn't exist, but in some way, shape or form, and find financing around that and come back to Cabinet and Council in terms of proposals around that. And I think I know where we can look for some money in terms of that. So that's a commitment. It's one we're going to do anyway, and therefore I'd hope you could still support the budget. And just finally for Sheila over there, you're right, Sheila, we have had conversations about this over the last 3 years. We've reduced it for the last 3 years. And I think it just shows as well that we can operate in a non-partisan way in terms of what we do, because the wards affected, obviously, are Conservative wards. We really don't care. It's about doing the best thing for the residents, the taxpayers and business of Broadland, and we will do that, and we will come back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Riley. We're going to go to the vote, and this is going to be a recorded vote. So we'll go to 8D first, which is the revenue budget and council tax for 26-27. The recommendations are on page 229 of your report, and I'll hand over to Claire to do the voting.
Thank you, Chair. Please can members indicate whether they're voting for, against or abstaining. Councillor Baby.
For.
Councillor Beadle. Councillor Berry. Councillor Booth.
For.
Councillor Bowe. Councillor Brennan. Councillor Bullman. Councillor Catchpole. Councillor Clancy. Councillor Copplestone. Councillor Crotch. Councillor Davis. Councillor Douglas. Councillor Eden. Councillor Emsall. Councillor Goodman. Councillor Gurney. Councillor Hartley. Councillor Harvey. Councillor Holland. Councillor Johnson. Councillor Creamy Gouverneur. Councillor Kelly. Councillor Laming. Councillor Lee. Councillor Leggett. Councillor Mia. Councillor Murrell. Councillor Newstead. Councillor Nurden. Councillor Riley. Councillor Roper. Councillor Royal. Councillor L. Starling. Councillor N. Starling. Councillor Thomas. Councillor Tipple. Councillor Toval. Councillor Ward. Councillor Wymark. And Councillor Yousefian. Thank you, that's unanimous.
Lovely, thank you. We'll go on to 8E, which is the capital strategy and capital programme 26-27 to 2030 to 31. That recommendation is to the approval of the capital strategy and capital programme for 26-27 to 2030-31. Claire.
Thank you. Councillor Baby. Councillor Beadle. Councillor Berry. Councillor Booth. Councillor Bowe. Councillor Brennan. Councillor Bullman. Councillor Catchpole. Councillor Clancy. Councillor Copplestone. Councillor Crotch. Councillor Davis. Councillor Douglas. Councillor Eden. Councillor Emsall. Councillor Goodman. Councillor Gurney. Councillor Hartley. Councillor Harvey. Councillor Holland. Councillor Johnson. Councillor Karimi Gouverneur. Councillor Kelly. Councillor Laming. Councillor Lee. Councillor Leggett. Councillor Mia. Councillor Murrell. Councillor Newstead. Councillor Nurden. Councillor Riley. Councillor Roper. Councillor Royal. Councillor L. Starling. Councillor N. Starling. Councillor Thomas. Councillor Tipple. Councillor Toval. Councillor Ward. Councillor Wymark. And Councillor Yousefian. Unanimous.
Okay, go on to Treasury Management Strategy Statement for 26-27, and all those recommendations are on page 270 of your report. We're not going to record a vote on what we said we were going to do. No. Okay, sorry, we're not doing a recorded vote on this one. I'm just going to ask you to vote. All those in favour of these recommendations, please raise your hand. Thank you. Just 2 minutes, everybody, please. We're going to have a 10-minute break. If anybody wants to get a coffee or use the restroom, then we'll come back. Oops.